This is Dan, and this is the Napkin Academy, the continuing education component. If you're brand new to the Napkin Academy, I'd like to tell you a little bit. If you go back and look at the core curriculum, you'll see that it was a series of lessons based on my previous books, The Back of the Napkin and Unfolding the Napkin, designed to help all of us become much better visual problem solvers and visual thinkers. In continuing education, we're going to focus on the lessons from my new book, which is called Blah, 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 What to Do When Words Don't Work. Let me tell you a little bit about the idea and what you'll find in the continuing education part of the Napkin Academy. It all began with the realization that I, like many people, think that, I've got some interesting ideas that I'd like to share. And I know many other people who have interesting ideas that they'd like to share. And in the past, typically, we just start talking about them. But all of a sudden, we begin to find ourselves having so many people with so many good ideas around that it doesn't take long before everything begins to sound a little bit like a whole wall of blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't take long for all of us start to become a little bit red in the face, and then we talk a little bit louder and it increases, and then we talk a little bit louder and it increases, and we're getting more blah, blah, blah. And I want to go back to where we were starting with me and you having some good ideas that we wanted to share with each other. Well, I have a simple idea. How about if we all began to strive to use a lot fewer words and started to use a whole lot more simple pictures? I think this would help us tremendously. I call this way of thinking vivid thinking, where VI stands for visual. This V stands for verbal, and ID stands for interdependent. And there's a simple visual ways to show that, which is in the future, when we want to convey an idea, we're going to show it in pictures. And when we want to convey an idea, we're going to talk about it in words. And they are going to be interdependent, which means we will rely on both the pictures and on the words to make sure that our ideas are absolutely vivid and clear. As you explore Napkin Academy's continuing education, we're going to find that I will be able to share with you lessons, things that say, here is a nice way of thinking about a particular idea with not only words but also pictures. And then I'll be able to give you examples. Say, why not imagine how this particular company is faring in comparison to that particular company and how we might be able to represent that. And then I'll like to give you some tools, and these will be structured matrices, layouts, visual thinking toolkits. Then we'll follow it up with real-world case studies where businesses that you might know or organizations that you're familiar with will see exactly how they have begun to use these kind of simple pictures to help themselves become more vivid. And probably most interesting of all, we're actually going to use your work. We're going to make it so that you can upload your own presentations and share them so that all the rest of us, myself and anybody else who's another associate, can look at your presentations, comment on them, maybe make visual suggestions and share them. So your work will be involved as well. As we go through our lessons in continuing education, we're going to attain three real underlying objectives. The first is to make sure that our own ideas are absolutely clear in our own mind, which will then give us the confidence that we need to be able to share those ideas with other people in a way that they too are simply going to get. And thirdly, when we're able to be that confident, we will find that our ideas can become incredibly persuasive to large groups of people as we go about selling our ideas and sharing their light with the world. Let me talk just for a moment about how to sign up. If you are already a cadet, you've got access to my entire core curriculum. That is all the back of the napkin material in the 42 video lessons and the printable PDFs, and you've got access to that for a year. However, Here's the difference. If you want to sign up as an associate, here's what will happen. You will get free access to all the materials that a cadet has, plus you will be able to receive unlimited access to all of the continuing education components of the Napkin Academy, which will include, at a minimum, 2 new live lessons as webinars every month, at least 1 new PDF file tool per month, and the community tools that will allow us to find each other in the form of a directory and to be able to share our work through our visual forums. So how can we take advantage of continuing education on the Napkin Academy? Step number 1, go to www.napkinacademy.com. Go to the register page, go ahead and fill out your username, whatever you'd like, your email address, and click on the Associate Registration panel. Fill out the rest of the forms, register, and you are good to go.